Welcome to our channel. Alexandra Daddario's tragic true life story. The last few years have been quite fortuitous for Alexandra Daddario. While she's had many mainstream successes in the past, between the Percy Jackson films, her stint on True Detective, and other projects, the actress has more recently experienced a sort of career renaissance. Her starring role in anthology series, The White Lotus as Rachel, a newlywed having second thoughts about her marriage while on her honeymoon, garnered her a new level of critical acclaim, along with an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Limited Series. Following The White Lotus, Daddario continued her takeover of television with a starring role in the cast of second Anne Rice adaptation, Mayfair Witches, which is already in production for its second season. On top of all that long-awaited career momentum, Daddario also got married in 2022, putting an end to a long history of romance rumors following her and several co-stars from some of her previous projects. While things may be looking sunny for the former Baywatch star, it wasn't an easy road for her to get here. Along the way, she's battled crippling fears, public scrutiny, career setbacks, and so much more. The true life story of Alexandra Daddario may have a happy ending, but she's no stranger to tragic life events and struggle. Her family pressured her to pursue higher education. Unlike many people who get their start in entertainment, acting wasn't the obvious choice for Alexandra Daddario. The future Percy Jackson star notably grew up in a family of lawyers, including both of her parents. Surprisingly, they both encouraged Daddario to pursue a more artistic life than theirs, which resulted in her joining an acting class when she was 11. Very quickly, Daddario realized acting could provide something she wasn't getting out of her everyday life, as she told Flaunt. "I don't want to say I grew up in a rigid environment," she recalled, "but there was a lot of pressure on me to go to an Ivy League school and to get great grades and score really high on my." While her parents were supportive of her acting pursuits, Daddario still felt like she was going against the grain by choosing a career that allowed her to lean on her emotions. Even at a young age, Daddario struggled with the level of emotionality required from acting, though she became enamored with techniques like sense memory that allowed her approach to be more methodical. Still, she felt very embarrassed as a young kid to share tragic, sad moments with acting classes as part of their exercises, though it later taught her to be vulnerable in her performances. She was fired from her first acting job. Alexandra Daddario's life took a major turn before she even graduated high school, when she was cast in the soap opera All My Children at age 15 in the recurring role of Laurie. Almost immediately, she had to adjust to on-set schooling and the wild environment of television, especially how fickle and malleable the world of soaps was. Daddario's presence on the show coincided with a negative shift in public favor toward All My Children, as the show began to focus on the younger characters following the departure of some major veteran cast members. After a year on All My Children, appearing in over 40 episodes, Daddario was fired as part of a creative upheaval in the show's direction. However, Daddario sadly blamed herself for losing the job, telling Women's Health, "I wasn't a very good actress. I knew something was wrong, but I knew I could fix it. I knew that I loved what I did and that I could be better." In a more tragic version of this story, getting written off All My Children would have been the end of Daddario's stint as a professional actor. However, she instead continued to take classes and worked on improving her acting skills, becoming proficient in an acting exercise known as the Meissner technique. The journey to stardom may have hit a snag, but Daddario was still determined to persevere. She's had her fair share of bad auditions. It was a steady process for Alexandra Daddario before she landed the breakout role of Annabeth in the Percy Jackson movies. She continued to accrue minor roles in the years following her All My Children firing, including a bit part in Noah Baumbach's The Squid and the Whale, as well as the horror film The Attic in 2007. However, Daddario still felt like she hadn't broken in yet, mainly due to not feeling like she was fully formed as an actor. In an interview with Backstage, she described a failed audition for Fox's Point Pleasant when she was 17 years old that stood out as proof that she had a long way to go as a skilled actor. "I completely forgot my lines and completely blew the screen test," Daddario explained. "I was so close, and I was very upset with myself for a long time about that." Because Daddario was the only actress up for the part at that point in time, the show's producers had to go back to the drawing board after she fumbled the opportunity. Even after her big break years later, Daddario has still had less than ideal moments during auditions. In another interview with Backstage, she credits the auditioning process as a necessary hell, saying, "First you become a better auditioner, then you become a better actor and work on your confidence." Hollywood forced her to overcome a fear of flying. Part of being an actor means confronting fears in order to convey authentic performances. Unfortunately for Alexandra Daddario, some of these fears are a frequent part of the job. In an interview with Collider, she opened up about one of the biggest phobias she's had to overcome throughout her career, citing without hesitation flying as something that used to terrify her. As she explained, "I used to really struggle with it. I still have it a little bit. However, since the life of a mainstream actress requires her to be on airplanes quite often, she's gotten used to facing the fear and is no longer petrified by the prospect of flying." Even then, there are other fears she's expressed publicly that aren't so easy to overcome, such as her fear of germs, although she told People magazine, "I'm not type A with that kind of thing. I am a germaphobe, but I'm not organized." Nevertheless, that phobia specifically inspired her to partner with Kleenex wet wipes, which she always brings with her on airplanes to stay sanitary. Her romance with a Percy Jackson co-star ended quietly prior to marrying producer Andrew Form in 2022. Alexandra Daddario had been notably private about her romantic life, though that didn't stop tabloid speculation and paparazzi from prying. In particular, she was linked to her Percy Jackson co-star Logan Lerman following the release of the first movie in 2010, when the two were spotted spending time together outside of press junkets and production. While neither Daddario nor ever confirmed the relationship, reports still insisted that they got engaged in 2014. By 2016, however, they had broken up, a sad ending to the love story that fans of the fantasy films may have wanted. Daddario later opened up to Women's Health about her active dating life, saying, "I'm really nervous around boys, and that people have recognized me, and it's embarrassing," in regard to her experience on dating apps. Logan Lerman wouldn't be the last co-star that Daddario was linked to. Around the release of Baywatch, she was often spotted out and about with Zac Efron, who also starred in the movie. But Daddario personally denied the romantic connection despite reports to the contrary. It's a shame the two didn't take their on-screen romance off-screen, as even Daddario herself admits they would have had very blue-eyed children via People. She was intimidated about joining True Detective. While Percy Jackson introduced Alexandra Daddario to mainstream success, she'd reach a new height of recognition with her supporting role in the first season of True Detective. Notably, her appearance in the second episode, opposite Woody Harrelson, saw the actress fully undress on screen, with the scene going viral shortly after that. But maybe not for the right reasons. Daddario, for her part, was eager to be a part of True Detective, nudity or not. As she told NTV News, "I really wanted to be part of the show, and I understood why the nudity and all of that was required of the character." In the years since her True Detective episodes aired, Daddario has been less than open about the negative sides of performing a scene like that, but has admitted she did have reservations before shooting it. While she's seemingly flattered by the attention the scene has gotten online, she mostly tries to ignore it to avoid discomfort. She did, however, defend True Detective from accusations of misogyny in its portrayal of women, feeling that scenes like the one she did with Harrelson demonstrated important details about the lead characters. Many actors have refused to do nudity, fearing the trouble and embarrassment of being on set and dealing with the aftermath. Luckily for Powering Through Any Unnerving Feelings reaped benefits, as she began receiving offers almost immediately for projects like San Andreas. Thanks you for watching. Stay connected with us for more videos.